Welcome to Elevated, a place where the mystical meets the everyday. I am Dawn, a stay-at-home mom to a wild and spirited boy, and a guide in the realms of Reiki, Akashic Records, natural healing, and soulful living. Here, we'll talk energy, intuition, spirituality, but also the realness of motherhood, wellness, and creating balance in the chaos of it all. So grab your tea, take a deep breath, and join me as we explore healing, alignment, and the beauty of both the magical and the messy. Welcome to Elevated. Welcome to Elevated, beautiful souls. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing wonderful. I'm having such a wonderful day. Today I got to plant. Well, I didn't get to plant. My son planted his strawberry plant and his raspberry plant. So he went out yesterday. He bought a gift for his teachers. He got them both a strawberry plant, himself a strawberry plant, and a raspberry plant. And he paid for them himself. He was adamant that he was going to pay for them. I was trying not to let him pay for it, but he was adamant. He had the money. He wanted to pay for it. My husband's like, just let him buy it and then we'll just pay him back without him knowing. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And he got his 3 strawberry plants and his raspberry plant, and he's been worried about them ever since he got them. So we got them planted today. He's just in heaven with these plants. So it's the cutest thing ever. It's so adorable. It's cute when they have a thought in mind and they execute it, and how proud they are of themselves. Like, he was so proud of himself for paying for his plants, and he walked out of that store feeling like $1 million. And we planted it today, and hopefully this season we'll get some raspberries and some strawberries off of his plant. And I did tell him, I said, now we have to go find some rocks and we got to paint them like strawberries and raspberries and put them around the bushes so that the birds don't eat your strawberries and your raspberries. Can't wait till he gets his first fruit off of there. So for today's topic, I want to talk about something that I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. I've been working on my heart wall. So I'll talk a little bit about that, but I want to talk about what body code is, emotion code, heart code, belief code, and Psych K is. So I've kind of been saying in the last couple of podcasts, I was going to tell you what all those were, and that's what I'm going to talk about today in this podcast. But before we get into the topic, we're going to do our card pull. So I did a card pull from, of course, the Soul Helper Oracle by Christine Ariana Fader. I know it's one of my favorite. What can I say? I do have other decks, yes. Do I pick those other decks? No, I really just like this deck. I really, truly do. It is card number 24. The Tree of Wishes is calling your name. An almost forgotten wish will now come true. Ooh, that's exciting. You once made a wish in the divine realms of fulfillment. Your ancestors have been keeping this wish safe since that day, as you were not ready for it to come true. You expressed a deep longing in this wish, and now the time has come. It'll be touched by the divine source and will enter the realm of the possible. Although you have forgotten it in the intervening years, you now have the momentum and opportunity to achieve your desire. Your path has led you to a point where miracles can happen because you now believe in them. Miracles can only occur if you believe they are possible or truly want them to happen, free from fear and with an open heart. Miracles take place daily throughout the world. You lost sight of these wonders for a time, and deep down failed to believe that you are a creative being. However, you are the one who shapes your world and destiny in creating a path of growth for you. You have forgotten that you can trust your path, but you are now ready to follow the path of your soul and insight in complete trust. This is why you have drawn this card. It is now time to signal that you are ready to receive a miracle, as your free will is respected in the spirit world. You have forgotten your wish, and you did not nurture it with significant positive emotions. It is therefore now important to say a prayer expressing that you believe in miracles and are ready to receive one. It would be a shame to miss out on this opportunity, so do not delay. Your helpers for the next 21 days, the power animal is the crane, the essential oil is sage, the healing crystal is hemonite, and the number is 6. I will try and post it on Instagram and Facebook. I know I'm not good at it. I'm trying. I'm hoping to get better and more consistent with it. Take a look to see if it is there. I will post it in the post part of it. So it's not just on the stories, but it'll also be on the post so you can see it whenever. Again, know that whenever you're listening to this podcast, that message is for you. I know tonight, before I go to bed, I'm going to be doing some work with my ancestors and reclaiming that wish that I had that I have forgotten about. As I'm sitting here, I'm like, is it this one? I'm like, no, I think about that one often. Is it this one? No, I think about that one often. Is it this one? No, I've talked about that 5 times today. So I don't really know what it is. Today, I want to talk about an appointment that I had with Jocelyn from Edson Emotional Reset. So she does healing with the emotion code, body code, belief code, heart wall healing, and Psych K. And I'm going to go through in this podcast and sort of explain my experience that I had with her in each one of these. But I also want to go through and explain to you what each one is so that you can understand what they are. Because I can tell you how great the session was, but without you understanding what they are, it probably won't make any sense. So these modalities are based on the idea that emotional experiences, subconscious beliefs, trauma, stress, and energetic imbalances become trapped within the body and the nervous system, which then influences your physical health, your emotional well-being, your relationships, and even the way we experience life. I'm going to explain each one of these modalities, so the emotion code, body code, belief code, heart wall healing, and Psych K, how these sessions are typically performed and how they work together, and why these are gaining popularity in the healing world. Before I can even go in and explain all of these, we should probably do a breakdown of each modality. So it's important to understand the foundation that they all share, because they do share a foundation. Even Psych K, like I know you could probably figure that out when I say emotion code, body code, belief code, and the heart wall. You could probably put in that those would be the same, but then how does Psych K fit into it? Most energy healing modalities believe that the body is more than just physical. They believe that we are emotional, energetic, mental, and spiritual beings. When emotions are not fully processed, when trauma occurs, or when a limiting belief is deeply rooted in the subconscious mind, those experiences can create energetic imbalances. Now, limiting beliefs can be deeply rooted in the subconscious when you are 0 to 7, because that's when you are basically the biggest sponge that you are ever going to be. But they can happen later on in life as well. They can happen at the age of 44. They can happen at the age of 18. They can happen at the age of 13. They can happen anytime within your life. These imbalances may contribute to anxiety and stress, emotional triggers, chronic pain, fatigue, self-sabotage, relationship struggles, fear and insecurity, feeling stuck in life, difficulty healing, emotional or physical. The goal of body code, emotion code, belief code, and the heart wall and Psych K is to identify these hidden imbalances and release or transform them so the body can return to a more balanced state. I don't know if you've ever read the book, The Body Keeps Score, but it talks a lot about this as well. And there are books on heart code, which would be the heart wall, emotion code, and body code as well. So the emotion code. The emotion code was developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. Now, Dr. Bradley Nelson did emotion code, body code, heart code, and belief code. So he's done them all and is one of the most widely known emotional energy healing systems. Emotion code is based on the idea that trapped emotions are unresolved emotional energies from past experiences. These trapped emotions can become logged in the body and continue affecting a person emotionally, mentally, and physically long after the original event occurred. According to this method, trapped emotions can contribute to emotional overwhelm, depression or anxiety, physical discomfort, relationship difficulties, negative patterns, feeling emotionally disconnected. Practitioner typically uses muscle testing to communicate with the subconscious mind. That's how it was in my session. She could muscle test on her end for myself. She was able to tap into my energy and was able to muscle test on her end. Muscle testing works by asking yes or no questions while testing the strength or response of the body. And the practitioner can identify which trapped emotion is ready to be released, when it becomes trapped, sometimes who or what it is connected to. Once identified, the trapped emotion is released by moving a magnet along the governing meridian of the body, often down the spine or over the head. The idea is that the magnetic energy helps clear the emotional frequency from the body's energetic field. She did this on her end. We did it distantly. So there was no physical magnet doing it, but again, she was able to tap into my energy and she was able to remove the trapped emotions from my body. And of course, it's no different than the Akashic records. It's whatever wants to come up and be released at that time. So it's not going to cure everything. We're basically an onion and there's layers and you have to peel back each layer. And with each layer, you're going to get more and more in depth and you're going to get further into what needs to come. So at first, it might just be like a little layer, a light layer, and then as you're going through and you're feeling safe, or you know that more things need to be released, more things will be released. But it's not all going to be released at once. Could you imagine if we did that to our poor souls? That would be so hard on our bodies. The heart wall, which is something I have been working on even after my session with her. I've done 3 other sessions and I'm booked in for 3 more sessions. So one of the most popular concepts within the emotion code is the heart wall. And the heart wall is believed to be an energetic wall of trapped emotions surrounding the heart. And according to this modality, the wall forms as a protection after emotional pain, trauma, grief, heartbreak, or betrayal. While it may initially serve as emotional protection, practitioners believe that it can later contribute to difficulty giving or receiving love, emotional numbness, fear of vulnerability, feeling disconnected, relationship struggles, and difficulty following intuition. Heart wall release sessions focus specifically on identifying and clearing the trapped emotions surrounding the heart. Many people describe feeling lighter, more emotionally open, calmer, or more connected after heart wall work. Like I said, I've had 4 sessions in the last 2 weeks. I'm feeling calmer. I actually have emotion. I feel like my relationships with my husband and my son are better. The communication is easier and better. The emotional numbness that I was feeling is gone or starting to dissipate for sure. It is amazing what I have seen. My son had a heart wall session done as well. He had a combo session done with this lady and she did his heart wall. And his heart wall was at 57. He's 4 and I was at 57 feet in front of him. And she got it down to 19. And honest to Pete, like you could tell as soon as it happened, his tone changed. He became calmer. He talked softer, just loving and caring and sweet and gentle. It was amazing, the difference that I saw. I also talked to the practitioner that had done it and we were talking back and forth about kids because kids are easy to release a lot of this stuff. Sometimes as adults, we like to hold on to it for whatever reason. I guess subconsciously we feel safer by it. Kids are willing to release it a lot more because they're still so connected to divine, especially before the age of 7. And I was talking to her about this and she said that she had a client once where the client had 4 kids and the oldest kid that the practitioner was working on all of a sudden just basically laid down and took like the longest nap. And she said a lot of parents will say how calm, gentle, kind, and loving the kids are after the heart wall session. Not saying that my son wasn't loving, not saying I wasn't loving, but there's that block and you lower it and you're able to come back to your heart a lot more and to live from your heart. So the body code, it expands on the emotion code. So while the emotion code focuses mainly on trapped emotions, body code looks at the body as a complete energetic system. So the body code identifies 6 major categories of imbalance: energies, circuits and systems, toxins, pathogens, structural imbalances, and nutritional deficiencies. Practitioners believe that the body has an innate intelligence and already knows what needs support or correction. Practitioners generally work using muscle testing to communicate with the subconscious mind and determine what imbalance is currently affecting the person most. A session may identify emotional imbalances, energetic misalignments, organ stress, structural issues, nutritional needs, inherited energies, trauma patterns, emotional stressors. Once identified, the imbalance is cleared using energetic techniques, again, the magnets and intuition, or just frequency-based methods. I'm not 100% sure how my practitioner did it because, again, it was distance. So I didn't see it. I'm thinking a lot of it was done with intention and maybe not so much magnets, but I'm not 100% sure. The body code is often viewed as a more comprehensive system because it explores physical, emotional, and energetic contributors together rather than just focusing on the emotions alone. However, I do believe, in my opinion, that it would be great to have all of them. Do the body code, do the emotion code, do the heart code, do the belief code, do them all. Then you're covering everything. So the belief code is another evolution of this work, and it focuses specifically on the subconscious beliefs. The belief code is based on the understanding that many of our emotional and behavioral patterns are rooted in subconscious programming. These beliefs are often formed in childhood, through trauma, through repeated experiences, through family conditioning, through societal expectations, through inherited ancestral patterns. Again, there's that word, ancestral patterns. Examples of limiting beliefs include, I am not worthy, I'm unsafe, I have to struggle, I'm not enough, love is painful, success is difficult. And then practitioners believe that these beliefs influence thoughts, emotions, relationships, health, and even life experiences. I believe it. I truly could believe that. As we were going through and some of the limiting beliefs that were listed, like I'm not worthy. Yep, I used to have that belief, but we worked on that belief. I'm not enough. That was one that I had, and we worked on that one as well. So how a belief code session would work is, again, using the muscle testing, the practitioner uncovers core limiting beliefs, emotional roots connected to the beliefs, associated trauma or experiences, and supporting negative programs. Then the practitioner then works to release and replace these subconscious patterns. Many people find belief code work especially powerful because it triggers the underlying programming beneath emotional or behavioral struggles. So I booked my husband in the day prior to my session. I booked a combo session. So I did, again, body code, belief code, emotion code, and then the heart wall and Psych K. We just did basically the Psych K. So some of the things that he was bringing up, she's like, oh, that would be a belief code session. So I think for Father's Day, because he doesn't listen to my podcast, so he won't even know this, but I think for Father's Day, one thing that we're going to do is get him a combo session where he can work on some of his limiting beliefs and work on his belief code and his body code because he's having some pains. So we can clear that as well. Because we did that my body code session. I had pain in my lower left back. I haven't had pain in my lower back for 2 weeks now. Like, it's gone. It's amazing. The Psych K part is the missing piece or pieces in your life. And this was created by Robert M. Williams. And I was reading a book on Psych K by Robert Williams. I just picked it up because I was hoping he explained how to do Psych K so I could just do Psych K on myself, but it's not. It's about what Psych K is. Great read, and I'm glad I have it, but I would have liked to just know how to do Psych K without having to take the course that's over $1,000 and potentially a course where I have to travel to Calgary to go to. Either way, I will be taking a Psych K course and I will be certified in Psych K probably before the end of the year because it is something that I fully, honestly believe in. Psych K is a subconscious belief change process designed to help people quickly shift limiting beliefs into supportive ones. Unlike some energy healing systems that focused on the trapped emotions or the energetic imbalances, Psych K focuses heavily on reprogramming the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is believed to control your habits, your emotional reactions, your automatic behaviors, your stress responses, your self-image, your belief system. So Psych K teaches that lasting change happens when the subconscious mind is aligned with conscious goals. So how Psych K sessions are actually performed? Again, the Psych K session often will include muscle testing. She's able to muscle test distantly for myself or whoever she is working on. She had my husband try the sway test and he just wasn't able to do it. I guess he was like disconnected or something. So she reconnected him. I don't know. At this point in time, my son was having a hard time being in the room and it was an hour-long session. So I just pulled him out. So I don't know how she reconnected my husband. But usually what they'll do is they'll have you stand and they'll have you say your name. Like, my name is Dawn. And you would find your yes or no. So if it was yes and say my yes is to lean forward, I would lean forward. If I said my name is Jane, I would lean back because that's a false statement, right? He wasn't doing anything. And she was like, oh, you're not connected to, I think she said divine. And then she was able to connect him. So it was interesting, however she did it. But there's muscle testing, there's goal clarification, there's identifying the limiting beliefs, and then balances designed to create whole brain integration. The balances use specific body positions, movements, and focused intention to shift subconscious programming. So I know like when we were doing my Psych K session, she had me like put my hands a certain way and like connect them, and my feet had to be crossed. She would do her thing and then I would say the statement 3 times after, and I'd uncross my legs and I'd uncross my hands. And there was one, I forget which one it was, and I think it was like the 3rd or 4th time in, and I, for the life of me, could not cross my hands the way that they needed to cross and connect them. Like I could not do it for whatever reason. And I mean, I can do it now. I could do it before, but whatever that belief was. And I just said to her, I said, I'm having troubles. Like I, for whatever reason, can't do it. And she goes, oh, that's because you have such a strong limiting belief of this, that your body is finding it hard to change it. So finally, like working with my body and whatnot, I was able to like cross my hands how you're supposed to and do what you had to do and cross my legs. So that was really interesting as well. And yeah, sometimes it was like cross your right hand over the left or cross your left over the right and do this, or cross your left leg over or cross your right leg over. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I would have thought it was always left or right, but yeah, she was able to change it up. And it wasn't like right, left. It was like, I don't know, I think we did right, left, left maybe or something. I don't know. It was interesting anyways. So examples of a desired belief change might include, I desire love, my body knows how to heal, I am safe, I trust myself, I'm worthy of success. And the goal is to help the subconscious mind accept and integrate supportive beliefs more efficiently. So how does body code, emotion code, belief code, heart wall, and Psych K all work together? They all complement each other so well because they each address different layers of healing. Emotion code focuses primarily on trapped emotional energy. The heart wall work focuses on the emotional protection patterns surrounding the heart and relationships. Body code looks at the body holistically, including energetic, structural, nutritional, and emotional imbalances. The belief code triggers the deep subconscious beliefs and emotional programs. And then Psych K actively rewires subconscious beliefs and helps install new empowering programs. So together they create a layered healing approach. So you release the trapped emotions, you clear the energetic blocks, you identify subconscious beliefs, you reprogram limiting beliefs, you support emotional and nervous system regulation, you create space for new emotional experiences. People are often drawn to these modalities because they feel traditional approaches may not have fully addressed the emotional or energetic roots of their struggles. So some seek support for emotional healing, trauma recovery, anxiety and stress, relationship patterns, physical discomfort, self-worth issues, spiritual growth, inner child healing, nervous system regulation, personal transformation. People may report afterwards feeling emotionally lighter, more peaceful, more emotionally aware, less reactive, more connected to themselves, more confident, more aligned with their goals. It's important though to remember that these modalities are considered complementary and holistic wellness approaches. So experiences are going to vary greatly person to person. They truly are. Just because it's working so well for Jane over there doesn't mean it's going to work so well for Bob over here. For many individuals, these methods become a part of a larger healing journey that may also include like therapy, somatic healing, Reiki, meditation, breathwork, nutrition, spiritual practices, nervous system support, medical care when needed, and healing is deeply personal. And what works for one person may look different for another person. The reason why I did all of it was I was listening to a podcast. Jocelyn came on the podcast. She explained what she did. She was talking about the heart wall. I went to Jocelyn because of the heart wall clearing, knowing that my heart wall needed to be cleared. I did not realize that my heart wall was at 336 feet, which blows my mind that it is that far out. I know definitely with the passing of my brother and with the passing of my Reiki master, I had put up massive barriers around my heart. I stopped feeling. I stopped having emotions, basically. Although I did have like a lot of emotion when my son was born. I did. I remember looking at him and just being like in awe that I created this tiny little human. But I know lately that there's been more of a barrier put up. I just knew that my heart wall needed to be worked on. So that's why I picked Jocelyn from Edson Emotion Reset. And I wanted Psych K for over a year. I want to learn Psych K. I'm obsessed with Psych K. It's just something that when I first heard about it last year, I did research to see if I could get into someone to do Psych K. I didn't realize that you could do it distantly. And I didn't find Jocelyn when I was looking it up on Google or anything like that. And obviously at the time, it wasn't right for me. It was something that was put in my awareness, but it wasn't right for me. And now was the time that it was right for me. I do want to say thank you, Mott, because I'm pretty sure that my goddess from Walk on the Wild Side had a lot to do with it and has been taking me down all these different sort of paths that I've been going down. So thank you. And thank you, Kayla, for putting on Walk on the Wild Side because it is so life transforming. Even if it's not transforming within the first 6 weeks of the course, it definitely has become transforming. So that's why I did it. I had limiting beliefs that I knew I needed to work on. I have goals that I want to reach that I know I have limiting beliefs that are blocking that. And I finally just took the bullet. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Knowing that Jocelyn did the emotion code, body code, belief code, heart wall, and Psych K, I just knew that I had to book in. I always thought before that I just wanted the Psych K part of it, but I'm really glad that I listened to the podcast that she was on and realized that having the whole gamut of it all is really where you should be going with it and doing it that way. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the podcast here, but I'm going to go into my Psych K and my heart wall sessions in the next podcast. So you can kind of see what we sort of worked on, what came up with it, that type of thing, because it is very intriguing what actually came up. I can appreciate when she's doing the work. She does go in and she'll put ages beside certain things, and that's the age that it happened. Now, she will never get an age lower than 13 unless you're doing inner child work. But it just amazes me as I'm like looking through all that got done on that session, the amount of repeating thoughts or beliefs. Like one is failure, and it boggles my mind how many times failure comes up, how many times at this one age failure comes up, but how many other times in my lifetime that failure comes up. Like age 13 for failure was huge. And I can appreciate her putting the age because when I do the Akashic Records read, I do, when it comes to your current life blocks, I do put the ages on there. So again, if you had a current life block of failure, I would find the age that came to be. But then I also go in and I do find out, how do you express it? Is it through crying? Is it through anger? Is it through despair? Is it through depression? I would find that out for you, so you have awareness of that. But it was really interesting, my Psych K and my codes. I'm just going to call it the codes session. So I do want to actually run through what happened in my session for you so that you can see how that session actually played out and the benefit of those sessions. So that'll be next week. So stay tuned for part 2. But at the core of all of these modalities, so emotion code, heart code, body code, belief code, and Psych K, is the belief that the body and the subconscious mind hold incredible wisdom, whether through the trapped emotions, the energetic imbalances, the subconscious beliefs, or the nervous system patterns. These systems aim to help people reconnect with themselves and create greater emotional freedom and balance. There is a growing popularity of the emotion code, the body code, the belief code, and the heart wall healing and Psych K. I just went to Indigo yesterday. I went to the New Age section and I was looking at the New Age books. I had like a couple minutes without my son and my husband, and it was just beautiful because I love going to Indigo and I never seem to like go by myself. They always seem to come in, which is great and wonderful, but then I just feel rushed. So I had some time, even though they were in the truck. I told myself going in, I was like, you can take this time for you, and it's okay if you take a half an hour or 45 minutes. It's okay. And I allowed myself that time, which was beautiful. And anyways, I went to the New Age section and I'm looking through a part of the New Age that I never look at, but I was like just reading every single book title, and out of nowhere, it's like, ta-da! I'm here. It's the Heart Code book. And I'm like, no way. I had known that these books existed. There's the Heart Code, the Emotion Code, and the Body Code. The Belief Code isn't out yet. And I've read some information in it. I've read, the first chapter. And it was really interesting, just to go on like a complete side note of how popular this is becoming. But in the book, in the first chapter, now I've only read the first chapter, okay? They were actually talking about the emotions in the heart and how they're stored in the heart. And then they go through some stories of other people, but essentially they were talking about people that have had heart transplants and how they have felt after having a heart transplant. So there was this one where this girl had a heart transplant, and all of a sudden, like beforehand, she was like 18, and she was rebellious. She was the rebellious teen, staying out too late, doing this, doing that, what she shouldn't be doing, and just, being a teenager. And she got the heart of a 19-year-old, but this 19-year-old was into music and poetry and creating songs. And he had played the guitar, and all of a sudden this girl that had his heart wanted to take guitar lessons, and she was calm and she was no longer rebellious. And she heard his music. Somehow she got a hold of his music, and she knew the words before they were even being sung, and she had never heard the song before. And then there was one about a little boy. I think was he 18 months maybe? And the other boy was 4. So the one that got the heart, he was younger than the boy that had passed that gave the heart. And I don't exactly remember the exact ages, but they were under the age of 5. And the little boy that got the heart transplant, afterwards, he ran up to the donor's mom, gave her like the biggest hug, like he knew her, called her mom, and then nuzzled her nose like her son would have done. And she's like, well, there's no way that he would have known that. And then at one point in time, I guess somehow the boy's family was sharing, maybe it was the hospital room with the donor family. And the little boy in the middle of the night had gotten up and went and slept in the bed with the mom as if it was like her own child, and had said something about how he's safe now or something like that. And then later on in that story, it also says how the little boy who had the heart transplant, they had gone to church and the donor family was there, and the little boy ran in, never met the dad of the donor family, ran up to the dad in the church, sat on his lap and said, "Hi, Daddy." Didn't know who this guy was, never met him, and did that. So the heart, they're saying, remembers, and the emotions are stored in the heart. And then there was another one where this man, he got a heart transplant. And the person that he got the heart transplant from loved classical music, played classical music. And all of a sudden, this man started playing classical music like all the time. Like he was obsessed with listening to classical music. Everything had to be classical music. Like he had it on from the moment he woke up to the moment he went to bed. He was at work listening to it. He was at home listening to it. And his wife was starting to get frustrated with this classical music because she couldn't handle the classical music anymore. And it's just, again, showing how the heart stores the emotions. So that was in the book, the first chapter of the book, and it's very, very interesting. So now we're getting into more of the body code part. In the heart code book, they put a little bit of the body code in there as well because those work together. So I'm getting into that. So maybe next week I'll have a little bit more information for you on that as well. I want to say thank you so much for listening. I do hope that you found value in this episode. I like doing episodes like this where I can educate and teach, but I also like giving my personal experiences and what I have learned as well. I love expanding the knowledge of different modalities out to my listeners. I truly, truly do. I do hope that this podcast and episode did give you value and that you did learn something from it anyways. If you want to book a session with me, I do Reiki, Akashic Records, and access bars. I can work on some of the emotion code, body code, belief codes through, Reiki and Akashic Records as well, and through access bars. So if you kind of want to try it, it's not this exact protocol, but we can still work on a little bit of that. You can book a session with me at elevatedsoulhealing.com. If you want to be one of my 4 practice clients for the family patterns and ancestral patterns that I discussed in episode 37 and 38, please email me at elevatedsoulhealing@gmail.com and let me know. I am looking for 4 clients before I put it up on my website. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Elevated Soul Healing or Elevated Pod. And then if you want to follow me on Facebook, you can follow me at Elevated Soul Healing or Elevated. If you could do me the biggest favor in the world, if you could rate my podcast, review my podcast, leave a comment, share my podcast, subscribe, I would truly, 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 truly appreciate that, simply because every time you interact with my podcast in any way, it helps push my podcast out to more people. And my goal is to get more listeners. That is something that I'm working on in 2026. I just want to get my podcast out to as many people as we possibly can, because I do feel that this age that we are living in, we need to have people that are willing to spread the word, spread the light, get it out there. We need more love in this world right now, and we need a little bit more light, and we need some healing, and we definitely need ancestral healing. If you want to do some ancestral healing, again, go to my website at elevatedsoulhealing.com and book in a session, because I love ancestral healing so much. But I do appreciate you being here. I do appreciate you listening. I thank you for being here. Look forward to part 2 next week, where we break down my actual session that I had with Edson Emotional Reset, where we did body code, heart wall, emotion code, belief code, and Psych K. And I'm going to go through. I'm going to have my paper in front of me that I've printed off that explains what we did, and I'll run through it so you can see kind of how the session went and what really happened in the session and what information I got from the session. So again, I thank you so very much for being here. Please, 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 like I said, subscribe, like, share, review, comment, do all the things. I would truly, truly, truly appreciate that. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I look forward to connecting with you next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love you, and thank you so much for being here.